might want to dust off your old Scary Stories book for this one. Welcome to MsMojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 actors you forgot were on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay, I'll be back in a few hours.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at those actors who, in their earlier years, had a guest spot or main role on the popular Nickelodeon horror anthology series. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, we call this story the Tale of the Top 10.
Cool.
Number 10, JoAnna Garcia.
Yo, Sam, I'm Frank, and I think you're the hottest thing around this campfire.
Thanks. You can call me Samantha.
As though she isn't gorgeous enough now, her first episode on Are You Afraid of the Dark proves it. JoAnna Garcia has been stunning boys with her beauty since she was young. Plus, her Midnight Society member Sam can weave one heck of a spooky love story.
Legends of spirits like the Manitou or the Wendigo. But whatever happened to these spirits once people showed up to hack down their world? Many moved on, but some say the truly evil ones clung to home.
It only makes sense that years later, she would go on to play the beautiful Ariel in Once Upon a Time, who was always moved by love.
When I looked at his face, I knew.
Love at first sight.
It sounds dumb, I know.
And who could forget her guest appearance as the ultimate girl next door, Maggie, on How I Met Your Mother. They knew it back then, and we all know it now. She just clearly has that power over young men.
It's gonna be real hard calling somebody that looks like you Sam. Welcome to the Midnight Society.
Number 9, Emmanuelle Chriqui.
Security should have been here by now. I don't like this. Let's go downstairs.
Evening, Amanda.
Chriqui has had her face all over Hollywood on both the big and small screens, playing everything from a sassy lesbian bartender in Waiting to the recurring and more famous role of Eric's complicated ex, Sloane, on Entourage.
I want to get back together.
That will never happen.
And even at a young age, she, like JoAnna Garcia, whose character happens to tell this story, is one that had the boys lining up to date her. In this tale, Emmanuelle plays a night hospital volunteer who's too busy to date, but she definitely isn't too busy to save the whole hospital from a shape-shifting vampire.
And she'll drop you and then lick up what's left.
And in the end, she makes room for the guy.
What was that about a second date?
I'll have to check my schedule. But I'm pretty sure I can squeeze you in.
All in a night's work.
What?
Number 8, Tia and Tamera Mowry.
It's almost over. But then again, it's really just beginning.
These twins hit the peak of their fame in the mid to late 90s with their show Sister Sister. In the sitcom about twins separated at birth, they made us all laugh, cry, and appreciate our own families a little more.
I miss my child!
Oh, Mom, I miss you too!
Tia!
And in the early 2010s, they made us do it all again with their reality series, Tia and Tamera. However, back at the height of their fame, they took a detour for this duo role in the science fiction episode about reptilian body snatchers, with Tia playing the actual girl and Tamera playing her evil lizard replacement.
It's me, Sharon! No, it's me! I'm your best friend! I'm the one who knows your parents, Bob and Carol?
Yeah, you heard that correctly. Sweet dreams.
I'm learning very fast!
Number 7, Hayden Christensen.
It was pretty cool, you know, the way that you didn't give up on Gina.
Though his most recognizable role is as young Darth Vader, also known as Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen has been in many things before his biggest character to date. One of those roles is a scary tale told by the new Midnight Society leader, Tucker. In the story, Christensen's Kirk is looking for a missing friend on a snow-capped mountain during snowboarding season.
It's freezing, and there's a storm coming in.
Then I better hurry.
Danny, don't.
The story has some odd twists and turns, but ultimately, the light is the answer.
There. Take that.
Ironic seeing as how years later, he would give in to the dark side.
This is the end for you, my master.
Number 6, Baruchel.
Oh! Gee, what is that smell?
Baruchel has been all over the comedic map in his career, but before that, he was all over this show. Playing multiple characters over the course of 3 seasons, a young Jay owned every one of them. From a young boy who drowns in the first minute or two, to a cautious but smart young man who was nervous to play a game, this actor proved he could handle just about any role thrown his way.
Why? So I can lose?
Gee, thanks, but no.
Alex doesn't like games. He doesn't take chances. He's what you'd call
a wimp.
And into his adulthood, he naturally continues to prove that with his role as Hiccup in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, all the way up through his more raunchier roles in the Frat Packs films.
You're on a what? I'm on a cleanse. What?
Number 5, Neve Campbell.
No, he didn't. He was just cleaning the stove.
Dr. Vink is a returning character in a few of the stories told around the famous campfire. However, though he makes a return in this tale as a chef, he's obviously not the young actor we're focused on in this entry. Instead, it is the hostess in this tale that takes our number 5 spot.
So what's this place like?
It's okay. Dr. Vink is kind of...
Dr. Fink?
Vink with a v.
Maybe you recognize her as Julia Salinger from Party of 5, but perhaps in a rehearsal of sorts for her role as Sydney Prescott in the Scream franchise, Neve Campbell starred in this story about a fear-filled soup. And yes, we know how ridiculous that sounds, but it's true.
What is it?
Specialty of the house, le potage dangereux.
The dangerous soup.
Number 4, Elisha Cuthbert.
There's one thing that everyone does, and that's eat.
As an adult, Elisha Cuthbert has played a sex symbol in The Girl Next Door and Jack Bauer's easily kidnapped daughter on 24, just to name a few. But as a younger girl, she was Megan, a member of the newly formed Midnight Society when Are You Afraid of the Dark came back in 1999 with a new cast. Cuthbert's Megan could be a little high maintenance at times, like when she brought couches into the campfire circle.
A sofa?
Yeah, I know they're disgusting, but I do not sit on logs.
Despite this though, she did have the one trait that kept her from getting the boot from the group. She could spin a pretty creepy yarn.
These people love a certain kind of food so much, they'll do anything to get it. Anything. And if someone gets in their way, well.
Number 3, Melissa Joan Hart.
A voice from outside.
The wind, Charles. You heard the wind. Now get a move on or you'll be late for supper.
In more recent years, Melissa Joan Hart's prevalence in Hollywood has dwindled, with her latest popular sitcom, Melissa and Joey, ending in 2015. But that doesn't make her any less of a funny bone-tickling actress. In her teen and early adult years, she was a witch, and she assisted young audiences everywhere with typical adolescent troubles.
Eat as much of your favorite ice cream as you can possibly stand. Then, when you're a scoop away from hurling, back off.
On 2 different shows, of course. And as a Nickelodeon sweetheart of her day, she also helped a long-dead young boy find warmth in her time on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
He just wanted his coat. We helped him.
Yeah, we helped him.
What can't this lady do?
You don't understand, Aunt Hilda, I'm not going to school.
Number 2, Emily VanCamp.
It's not him.
Throughout her career, she's been on multiple TV shows and in a handful of movies, playing everything from a vengeful daughter to an obsessive girl next door. One of Emily VanCamp's earliest acting credits was a minor role in Chapter 2 of a 3-part episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Though the little girl she plays doesn't say much at all, she's certainly memorable.
Would you care to join us?
Please.
She makes faces instead of saying anything and adds entirely too much sugar to her tea, which the camera hilariously keeps cutting back to. And with that one scene, we can see why VanCamp kept acting into adulthood.
That doesn't guarantee that whoever framed him would get him, it guarantees that we would.
Before we remember our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I'll help.
Me too, but not by myself.
You might say these guys have no fear, but they should.
Number 1, Ryan Gosling. Long before he was refusing to eat his cereal and making girls swoon, he was being a jerk older brother in this episode about a creepy radio station.
Jamie, let me out of here! Jamie, would you quiet down? We'll wake the dead.
In The Tale of Station 109.1, Gosling's Jamie is the one who sets the events in motion that nearly get his death-obsessed little brother killed. However, he's also the one who saves him from death. So, lesson learned, right?
Hey! Leave him alone! Jamie!
Even in his teen years, it's hard not to forgive an adorable face like Ryan Gosling's. this wasn't the only horror anthology series Gosling appeared in either, as you might recognize him from a certain Goosebumps episode.
Do you know where she is now?
At her house, I guess.
No, she's not. She's missing. Disappeared.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.